Hey class, I just wanted to show you a little bit about how to use the line of action website here. Very handy tool that you can use to learn how to do figure drawing and get an access to models and posing. So this is the website here, lineofaction.com. You can find the link on our exercise page. And then you just simply start by going here and clicking figure drawing. And that will take you to a page here where you can customize a session for yourself. So you can either choose you can start with your covering and clothing. You can either do all models, so it's a mixture of nude models and covered models. Right, in arts, we always refer to it as nude, and it's a great way to study the figure and all of its anatomy so you can make accurate drawings. You're welcome to just do the only covered models as well. That's all I've included mostly in all of my images in my demonstrations. And then you can choose genders, how you would like to have that. And the next is age. I recommend always doing adult here. Of course, obviously you would never could get nude versions of, people under 18, of course. So I always just click adult. It helps keep me focused on just understanding basic human anatomy. And then you can change your image orientation if you want a portrait or landscape. I always just hit any, so I get a variety. And then you can have timing. You have a standard interval, so you can just put images on for a certain length of time. So, right, you wanted to do all your 30-second gestures. Boom, you could set it up like that. Or you can do what's called class mode, which kind of breaks things down into like if you're how long your figure drawing session would be. So let's say you have a 30-minute session. You would get 10 poses, each are 30 seconds, 5 poses that are a minute, 2 poses that are 5 minutes, 1 pose that's 10 minutes, right? And that would be a 30-minute class, right? Or you could add it to an hour, however long you really want to draw for, right? And then they even start to put some breaks in here. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to stick with the standard interval, but this is kind of how we would organize an in-person figure drawing class for you, right? Where we'd start with short poses, and then we'd slowly increase them. This is kind of like the warm-up zone, right? We're getting warmed up, practicing a little bit. And then we move into longer extended poses so we can really figure things out. Right, so I'll go back to the standard interval and just press start here and show you some additional things to be noticed. So they show up with the figures here. And then one thing I can do, I can just pause it if I want to stay on this pose for longer, which can be handy if I just want to stick with it a little longer. Otherwise, it's got the little timer here down here for how long you are going to work with that drawing or image. If you don't like the image, you can always skip forward and move to a different image. Images like this where they have a lot of costuming sometimes can be hard to get a good gesturing because some of the costume covers up the figure a little bit, right? So sometimes if I'm doing a lot of short gestures, I'll skip over some of those images that have a lot more costumes and then maybe save the costume images for some of my longer poses, right? And then I can just continue as long as I want. Sometimes these they get pretty dramatic on here, and some of the models and poses are kind of like whatever, mediocre, but you get some great ones like this that have great movement, right? This is a great one for gesture here. So, so that is lineofaction.com. Hope you make good use of it.